Rick feels like he's wasted his early life working as a receptionist at the guild. Everyone knows that to become a respected adventurer, you need to start young. Still, at 30 years old, he decided to take his chances. In the deep mountains of the Demon Continent, Rick undergoes excruciating training from his monster mentors. For 2 years, every day was a life or death situation for him. In the kingdom, people become adventurers at a young age to train their magical powers, which barely develop if not trained early. However, Rick refuses to give up on his dream and registers for the upcoming adventurer's exam. Alyssa immediately recognizes her former senpai, still puzzled by his decision to resign and become an adventurer. Their catch-up is abruptly interrupted by a drunk adventurer, who has his eyes on Alyssa and refuses to take no for an answer. Stepping in, Rick gives the adventurer a light pat on the shoulder, causing him to collapse unconscious. He quickly attributes it to the man being overly drunk. With the problem resolved, Alyssa hands Rick his E-rank exam ticket. His entry number, 4242, marks the beginning of what seems like an unlucky streak for him. Stepping outside, Rick is greeted by one of his mentors and his personal assistant, Rionette. Meanwhile, inside, the crowd is shocked by the palm marks on the steel armor of the adventurer. It turns out he's a former I-rank adventurer wanted on assault charges. Alyssa quickly deduces that it was Rick's doing. Starting with the physical examination, the examiner is already taken aback to see a 32-year-old taking the exam. Moving on to the mana capacity test, where the brightness of the crystal indicates the tier D+, D-, C+. People are amazed by the results, but when it's Rick's turn, the crystal barely lights up. F with a minus. It's a genuine disgrace for someone of his age to have such low mana. However, as Rick walks away, the crystal suddenly bursts. The next test assesses their offensive power. The examiner assures them that the slime bag can withstand high impact and instructs them to use their strongest attack. Rick recalls his rigorous training under mentor, a Shork, who mandated 50,000 punches daily on a golden slime bag. Golden slime, reputed as tough as Dragon Fang, was a benchmark for Rick. A Shork expected Rick to be able to destroy it with his bare fists. It was tough. The standout examinee is the second son of the Diamuit family, hailed as a prodigy with C-rank powers at just 11 years old. He confidently begins casting his flashy magic, Flame of Hell, renowned for turning everything to ash, a spell of the third nature. Spectators are surprised by the spectacle, though its impact is modest. Despite this, he beams with pride, seen by many as a true genius. In Rick's recollection with his mentor Drakwall, the same magic appeared vastly different, capable of leveling cities. Yet, observing the young prodigy's scaled-down display, Rick speculates that he deliberately condensed his magic to suit the indoor setting, impressing everyone with his control and precision. After several more examinees, it's finally Rick's turn. Once again, reminded of his age and his disappointing mana measurement, the examiner advises Rick to consider giving up. Feeling the pressure, Rick reflects on his past resilience during training. He refused to give up then, and he won't give up now. With determination hardening his resolve, Rick clenches his fist, an aura beginning to emanate from him. In a surprising turn, he destroys the slime bag and even damages the wall. It's something truly unexpected. Rick's thoughts, it must have been a fluke. The Diamuit kid is visibly annoyed that Rick has stolen his spotlight, but he remains confident in the next test, defensive magic, his specialty. However, when Rick effortlessly blocks fourth nature composite magic, the Diamuit kid's hopes of impressing further diminish. The examiner, now intrigued by Rick's abilities, decides to push him further by testing his limits with 5th tier magic. Despite only being proficient in 1st tier defensive magic, Rick remains confident. The examiner begins a long incantation for a spell called Shock Cyclone, never before used in a test of this nature. The commotion catches the attention of first-rank knight, Sylvester, who arrives at the exam field. He learns about the extraordinary F-rank candidate capable of blocking 5th tier magic. Initially skeptical, Sylvester is astonished that it's not a joke. Adding to the surprise is Rick's age and his background as a former receptionist. Next up is the writing exam, a segment in which Rick feels confident due to his prior experience at the guild. Rick shares his results of the test with Rionette as he feels proud to be good at something. Still, he wonders if he will pass the first round, seeing as his mana was ranked F-, but Rionette believes that it should be fine. Suddenly, the Diamuit kid appears, calling Rick a lowly peasant. Rick struggles to recall his name, irritating the young freed. Unaware of social cues, Rick inadvertently insults the boy further by assuming he is lost and offering to help find his parents. Freed had been eager to showcase his brilliance at the exam, but because of Rick, he tears up while expressing his disappointment. Suddenly, Freed's sister, Angelica, steps in, furious that Rick made her brother cry. Freed insists that Rick, whom he believes to be in his 40s, is bullying him. Rick, sensitive about his age, corrects him. Angelica continues to provoke Rick, escalating the situation. Finally, she challenges Rick to a duel. Reluctant to let things escalate but also not wanting for the glove to get dirty, Rick picks up the glove. Rionette steps in to clarify that by picking up the glove, Rick has inadvertently accepted the challenge. In the arena, Angelica declares herself as a second-class knight of the Royal Knights. In Philheim Kingdom, duel winners have the right to set the terms of victory. Confident in her abilities, Angelica sets a harsh condition. The loser will become the winner's lifelong servant. Rionette explains that the second-class knight is a round B rank level adventurer and asks for Rick to hold back. However, Rick believes in his identity as an F rank adventurer. There is no way he can win. His only goal is to survive the duel. To calm him down, Rionette reminds him of his training for the past 2 years. It's been a gruesome hell. His stomach turns from the memories, making Rick puke. At least it calmed him down. She is confident in his win, since he's a member of the strongest party on the continent, the Orichalcum Fist. Calmed down, Rick prepares to meet his fate. Angelica, promising to show some restraint, enhances her body and weapon. She casts Blink Step, appearing behind Rick, surprising him. Despite casting a slower version of the spell, she is confident it is beyond Rick's ability to react. From the sidelines, Freed cheers for his sister, proudly noting her nickname, Lightspeed Angelica. As Rick rubs his eye before her next attack, he is shocked at her apparent slowness, realizing that his normal running speed is faster than her enhanced movements. Truly discombobulated, he wonders why she's called Lightspeed, easily stepping aside from her attack. This shocks Angelica, as only a handful of knights can react to her speed. She dismisses it as a fluke and goes at it again. Rick realizes she's genuinely that slow. He wonders if she made her way to the Royal Knights through family connections or if he might actually be stronger than he thought. Suddenly, Angelica trips, and her fumbling makes it unexpectedly challenging for Rick to dodge. Unable to predict her erratic movements, Rick dismisses his earlier thoughts of being strong as momentary arrogance. Angelica, noticing his hesitation, pretends her stumble was a deliberate technique, fueling Rick's self-doubt even further. Angelica's next technique is an improved Blink Step, a move she can only use 3 times due to the physical strain on her body. This advanced move, called Blink Step, Iota, is 3 times faster than her previous attacks. However, Rick still finds it slow and avoids it with ease. She strikes second time, but Rick dodges effortlessly. Realizing that the duel will never end if he doesn't strike back, Rick prepares to counter, though he fears she might have another hidden move. Barely on her feet, Angelica makes another attempt. This time, Rick is ready to counter, but she trips, causing Rick to miss his hit, which inadvertently sends Angelica flying. Had she not tripped, Rick's punch would have connected solidly. Angelica, astounded, asks who Rick really is, unable to believe he's an F-rank adventurer. Rick, still convinced of Angelica's strength, readies himself to continue, but Angelica forfeits 15 the duel. She tries to maintain her pride, claiming she went easy on him. As she starts to leave, Rick reminds her of the duel's terms, wondering if she's now his servant. Without responding, Angelica dashes away. Rionette then reminds Rick that the results of the first test will be announced soon, and that Ashok and the others will be arriving later. This shocks Rick, as he dreads their presence, believing nothing good will come from it. The end. Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this.